welcome back. This is Carrie. This is some videos I'm making for assignment 7, week 7, dealing with functions, graphs, a whole bunch of different things, slope, intercepts, all that sort of stuff. For stuff like functions, again, if you've used any of the videos I made previously, I'm going to give you some example problems. They won't necessarily be the exact problems on your homework, but just to give you some guides of what to do. Numbers 1 and 2. So something similar for numbers 1 and number 2. Functions. On your paper you have something like this. Negative 3x plus 2. This is actually fancy notation. The only reason this is called function notation is because you have this right here. The exact same thing is this. So when you do columns like numbers 1 and number 2, let me say, so my example is going to be, let g of x equals 5x minus 11. So one thing, if it helps you, when you do something like number 1, it says let g equals negative 2. One thing you can do is change it from this to this. So you could say this problem, another way to view it is y equals 5x minus 11. And using this, and you see what they did here in the parentheses. Originally it was x in the parentheses, it was changed to negative 2. So these are the problems saying x is negative 2, what does y equal? So we need to take the negative 2 and plug it in. You say y equals 5 times negative 2 minus 11. Always order of operations. In this problem you have multiplying and then subtracting. So y equals negative 11. Oh, sorry, negative 10 minus 11. So y equals negative 21. So in other words, another way to write this, now again, remember the number I plugged in was negative 2. This is the same as if I have y equals negative 21, just changing it back to the notation. G of negative 2, I change this part, equals negative 21. This is your answer you're looking for. You don't need to do anything more with this negative 2. So again, if I have the same function, x plus 3, and I said find the function g of negative 20. They don't have to be negatives, but this is what I'm coming up with. First thing I could do is just change this to a y, because it just means y equals 7x plus 3. I have this number right here to plug in. This was the x, so x equals negative 20. All I'm going to do is a plug in right here. So y equals 7 times negative 20 plus 3. So multiply and add, I get negative 140 plus 3. Y equals negative 137. So my final answer for that is g of negative 20 equals negative 137. So originally my answer looked like this. Remember, I'm just flip-flopping the notation, but that's all I'm doing. Now the other problem for number 2 is slightly more complicated, because if you look in the parentheses, it has a little bit more going on in the parentheses. So if I had my function, what was it? Well, let me just make up one. G of x equals 2x plus 10. Okay, so I have something like g of r plus 5. Okay, so again, let's just make some changes here. This actually means y equals 2x plus 10. And all of this time, I'm going to plug in for x. So x equals r plus 5. X is all of that stuff, so I'm going to plug that in for x. So I'm going to plug in, I'm going to have y equals 2 times r plus 5. And then, because that's where I plugged in, 2 comes down, r plus 5 plug in, plus 10 at the end. So now I'm going to do some distributing. 2 times r is 2r. 2 times 5 is 10, plus my 10 at the end. Of course, there's a y here. Y equals 2r plus 20. Remember, I cannot combine 2r and 20 because they're not like terms. This has an r, this does not. So my end answer is g. I'm just replacing this, r of 5 equals, my answer here is 2r plus 20. I'll do one more for you like that. G of x equals negative 11x plus 5. And then G, I'm going to do G of, let's see, W plus 3. Okay, so I'm going to change this around. This is the same as saying y equals negative 11x plus 5. This stuff in here is the x, my plug-in. So I'm going to say x equals w plus 3. And now I'm going to plug it in. So y equals negative 11, then w plus 3, my plug-in, plus 5. Distribute. Y equals negative 11w plus negative 33, then my plus 5 at the end. Y equals negative 11w, then that make negative 28. So flip-flop back to function notation, g of w plus 3 equals negative 11w plus negative 28, or negative 11w minus 28. Either way. Oops, sorry. There we go. Hopefully this helps you. Thanks.